Hello YouTube. I'm here doing a diagnosis on a 2002 Nissan Maxima. This customer complaint is that this vehicle overheats intermittently. So he says that there's times where he drives the car and the car doesn't seem to overheat, but there's times where he drives it and you know uh, if he stops at a stop sign or a stoplight, he says that while is at idle, his car needle for its temperature tends to go a little bit above um, normal temperature. But then but as soon as he drives it, the temperature drops back to normal temperature range. So the complaint is that the vehicle tends to overheat at moments, mostly when he drives and it comes to a stop. But as soon as he drives, it just the needle goes back to normal. So I'm gonna. Oh, and also a history on this vehicle is that the radiator has been replaced like a couple months ago due to a crack, and the thermostat has been replaced already twice. Once because it was stuck closed, and the other one he just replaced it alongside with the radiator, just as a preventive maintenance um, replacement. So at least we know that the radiator and thermostat are pretty much new. They're, I guess he said, like 2 months ago. So we could scratch that out as the radiator being the fault. Here's the radiator. Seems pretty, like I said, fairly clean, pretty much new. And he also said that the cap had also been replaced at the same time. So the cap, the radiator, and the thermostat had been replaced 2 months ago. So at least we could at least you know uh, basically work from there, knowing that those three items had been replaced. I asked him if he seen any leaks, external leaks, and he said that he hasn't had any external leaks. Um, his his reservoir tank seems to be right now low. I guess he hasn't filled it up, but he said that the coolant on the little tank hasn't. Well, he said that this fluid has not gone empty, so so he pretty much needs more fluid on the reservoir tank. So at least we know that this vehicle pretty much doesn't have any leaks. But I will do a pressure check on the system to see if there's any external leaks, and also see if there's any leaks on the heater core, which is inside of the car. So all right, guys. So I already hooked up the tool. I already applied about 13 pounds of psi into the system. I applied 13 because the cap is rated at 13 pounds. So like I said, I'm gonna wait about 15 minutes, come back. Right now it's at about 13 psi of pounds. So I'm gonna come back with about after 15 minutes, and if that pressure has dropped, or even if it drops one or two, that's fine. But if it drops below 10, let's say 10 pounds, that means there is some type of leak somewhere in the system. All right, guys. So I'm gonna come back after 15 minutes and then show you guys if this needle has dropped below I'll say below 10 pounds. Alright, guys. Alright, guys. So after 15 minutes of waiting time, the pressure hasn't dropped. It's still at 13 psi, which is a good sign. That means that there's no external leaks. There's no problem with the heater core, which is not leaking. I'm gonna do a little quick visual inspection inside the car just to make sure if there's any wetness inside the below the carpet, because because this is where the when a heater core fails, this is where the coolant tends to basically leak. It's beneath the carpet here by your footwell. So it seems to be dry. It doesn't smell like coolant or anything, so that's a good sign. Well, I'm gonna go to the other side and also check on this side. I check below the carpet. Like I said, this is also dry, so at least we know that the heater core is not leaking either. So it means that the heater core is intact. The radiator, it's still in good condition. Everything's good. But now, let's think about what else works with the with the cooling system. We have the radiator fans, probably maybe being the fault of this intermittent overheating at times, that the fans are maybe not kicking in, or maybe one fan is working and the other one's not working, because this vehicle has two fans. I'm pretty sure one's for the one's for the AC and the other one's just the main radiator fan. So, or maybe the fans are working, but maybe not spinning fast enough. Well, I don't know. And also, another possibility is the electrical part. Maybe a blown fuse on for the fans, which is, I'm seeing here, this car has two fuses for the fan 1 and fan 2. So, and they're both 40 amp fuses, which is right here. So these two are for your for your radiator fans, which are 40 amp fuses. Just doing a visual inspection, those fuses seem to be in good condition. So the fans should be getting current. Now, what else drives those fans? Relays. I see that this vehicle has 3 fan relays: the rad fan 1, the rad fan 2, and the rad fan 3. Maybe if the fans are not kicking in, it could be due to a faulty relay. So I guess the next thing is to maybe perform a check on the radiator system. No, I mean on the radiator fan system. See if these fans are even working or even kicking in, when they're supposed to kick in. So, all right, guys, so I'm gonna let this vehicle idle, and then just waiting to see if see if these fans do kick in. Another component that I forgot to mention, that could that could also affect the cooling system, is the engine coolant the engine coolant temp sensor. If that sensor is not reporting a properly signal to the ECU, that could affect the system in a way that the fan not kicking in. So right now, the engine's idling. It's still cold. Right now it's showing 73 degrees Celsius. So as you can see, the temperature is changing. Right now it was at 73. Now it jumped to 74. So so that's another component to also check, is a engine coolant temperature sensor. And a good way to check is by using a scan tool and just looking at the degrees. If the temperature is climbing appropriately, like in other words, let's say that if your car starts cold, it starts at 40 degrees Celsius, and as the car starts to warm up, if that 40 degrees Celsius keeps rising little by little, it means that the temp sensor is working properly. So this car actually started at 40 degrees Celsius, with the cold engine. Right now it's at 70 degrees Celsius, which in other words, if you convert that to degrees Fahrenheit, it's about close to 176 degrees Fahrenheit, because 80 degrees Celsius equals to 176 degrees Celsius. So so the temperature is climbing up. So the next step is just to wait and see if the fans do kick in as the temperature gets to to a certain range where the ECU kicks in the fans. Alright guys, so after 15 minutes of waiting time with the engine idling, the fans did kick in. But supposedly on this system, both fans actually have to kick in. Only one fan did kick in, which is the main radiator fan, which is on this side right here by my finger, this side. And on this side is the AC fan. The AC fan did not kick in. Oh shoot, you see that, guys? It was partially stuck. I had to move it in order for it to work. So I think we found the problem, guys, that the AC fan has a sticking motor. So, but still, the fans are not even turning fast enough to make this engine cool down quick enough. So there you go, guys. So after 15 minutes of engine idling, the fans kicked in. Actually, one fan kicked in, which is the main fan on this side, which is a radiator fan. And this one down here on this side is your AC fan. This one did not kick in until I moved the fan. That's when it started to work. So I'll say the problem is a faulty AC motor that's partially, I guess, sticking. So alright guys, so since the fan did kick in, but except the AC fan, without me touching it, it did not turn on. But as soon as I touched it, it did turn, but it's turning very slow. So I'm pretty sure the motor is faulty. So this AC motor has to be replaced. The radiator fan is still working, it's still spinning, but I see that it's only spinning. It's also spinning, but spinning very slow. And I believe that on this system, it's a 3-step mode. It has a off mode, a low mode, and a high mode. So right now, it seems that the main radiator fan it's on a low mode right now, but it's really spinning very slow. So I think we found the intermittent overheating on this vehicle. Cooling fan motors, actually the AC motor not working properly, is sticking, and the radiator fan motor is working. It is kicking in, but it doesn't seem to be spinning fast enough. So I'm pretty sure this is the intermittent problem with this vehicle. It tends to try to overheat at moments when the engine is either at a stop sign or a stop light. And once he drives it, the temperature the temperature tends to go back down to normal. So I guess the next step, I'm going to show you guys other ways to check the operation of the fans by unplugging the temperature sensor, or turning on the AC on high max, or using a enhanced scan tool and doing some bi-directional controls. Alright guys, so first, I'm going to show you guys with the enhanced scan tool. I'm going to do some bi-directional control. I'm going to show you guys a way to check the operation of a fan if it's working, by using like I said, enhanced scan tool. I'm going to hit active test, and then I'm going to go to the option where it says cooling fan. Alright, so here on the options, right now the cooling temperature sensor is showing 99 degrees Celsius, which is pretty much over 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Right here on the options for for the bidirectional control, I have the high, low, and off. Like you see, like I said earlier, that this system works in 3 modes: off, low, and high. So it means that it means that the computer is controlling the speed of the fans. When it needs a high speed on the fans, it will go high, and when it needs a low speed on the fans, it'll go low. So this, so this is so these are variable fan speeds, a high and a low, and an off. So I'm gonna hit high first and see if the fans kick in, and which already diagnosed that the fans are kicking in, but are not. But the AC fan is, let's say, it seems that the fan motor is getting stuck. Unless if you move it, then it works. So let's first hit high and see if the fans kick in. I heard the relays click. I see. Well, the only fan that kicked in is the radiator fan. But remember, I pressed the high. The fan is spinning, but it's spinning very slow. So this shows that the fan motor are not able to spin at a proper RPM. So this is why this customer is complaining of a intermittent overheating at moments. Not overheating, but above normal temperature range. So, and now the other fan, which is the AC fan, this fan is not even spinning. But let's see if I try to move the fan and see if it starts to spin. See, there you go, guys. This fan motor on the AC is pretty much toasted. It's working, but you have to spin it, with your hand, in order for it to actually work. So there you go, guys. It's trying to spin, but it seems that it just cannot handle the current no more, so it stops spinning. So I'm pretty sure I could say that the fan motor on the AC is pretty much toasted. On the radiator one, it works, but it's not spinning at a high load. It's not spinning fast enough. So now I'm gonna go back and hit the low and see what happens. I heard the relays click. Are the fans spinning? Nope. The main fan stopped spinning, when I hit the low option. What if I spin it by hand? Nope. What about the AC fan? Nope. It's not spinning. So this shows that the low speed circuit on this motor is pretty much toasted. The high speed is still working, but it's also on its way out because it's not spinning fast enough. And the one that's basically done is the AC fan motor. The radiator fan motor is still working, but not spinning fast enough. So this is pretty much the main cause of it is intermittent. Not really overheating, but above normal temp range. So now the next step, I'm going to show you guys another way to check to see if the fans are working. And this one is to unplug the coolant temp sensor connector from the sensor. Alright guys, so but the engine has to be running. Alright guys, so the engine is idling. I'm gonna unplug the harness connector from the sensor for the temp sensor. This test works on some vehicles. Not all vehicles have this this ability to turn on the fans by unplugging the connector from the temp sensor. So you have to check the system's design. But on these Nissans, I'm pretty sure on most Nissans, just by unplugging the connector from the sensor, the fan should kick in. So let's try that. The sensor lives down here on top of the upper hose. It's a gray connector, just right here. I'm gonna unplug it and let's watch the fans if they kick in. So there you go. The fans did kick in, but only the radiator fan, which lives over here. The AC fan did not kick in. What if I spin it by hand? There you go. It's spinning, but not spinning fast enough. So that's another way to check the operation of the fans, is by unplugging the the connector from the temp sensor. Now another way to check to see if the fans are working is to actually turn on your AC on high, and that once you do that, the fans should also kick in. That's only if your system, your AC system has enough freon. So let's do that, and let's watch the fans operation. So I'm gonna go to the car, turn the AC on high. So the AC is on high. It's in high mode right now. So let's go back to the car and let's watch the fans. So as you can see, the fans did turn on, but the main fan is just spinning very slow. The AC fan is not even spinning. But if I touch the fan blade, if I move it, then it starts to work. So it means the motor on this AC fan is basically it's pretty much done. And the radiator fan motor, it's working. It's working, but it also seems that both fans will have to get replaced. Actually, the motors have to get replaced. But this is a problem on this intermittent, let's say partially overheating when you come to a stop, and then when you drive, the temperature range goes back to normal. So thanks for watching. If the customer decides to replace one or both motors, I will do another part 2 video and show you guys the operation of good fan motors. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like. Alright guys, I decided to add the final fix along with the diagnosis. So this video is going to be a diagnosis and repair. So I have already installed the 2 fan motors, the one for the AC condenser fan and the radiator fan. These are the faulty fan motors that were installed in this vehicle. If you guys can remember that the motor that was installed for the which was on this side, which is the rad which is the radiator fan motor, did work, but was spinning. It just wasn't spinning fast enough. And on this side, which was the AC fan motor, this motor was not even spinning. The motor was basically sticking, and the only way that the motor would turn was only by me spinning it with my hand. But still, the RPM on this fan motor was basically, it was just very slow. So basically the fan motor for the AC was basically toasted, because when I did the bidirectional control function, you could tell that the fans were just spinning very slow. And when I did the high speed function, the fans did spin, but not fast enough. And when I did the low speed function, the fans would not even spin. So basically it just showed that the motors were basically faulty. So on this part, on this final fix, I'm going to show you guys the operation of 2 newly installed fan motors and show you guys the difference between the low speed and the high speed. And so so basically showing you guys when you command a low speed RPM versus a high speed RPM. So I have already have my scan tool already hooked up to this vehicle. This time I'm using the CJ4 scan tool. It's a lab scope also. It's it's a 2-channel scope, and also an enhanced scan tool. So so the first function I'm going to show you guys is actually the fan low speed. So I'm going to hit on and then show you guys the operation of the fan speed on both fans. So here we go, guys. As you can see, the fans are spinning. They're spinning in a proper RPM, which I said this is the low fan speed. And with the other motors, which are right here, the faulty ones, when I did the low speed function, the fans didn't even spin. So now I'm going to hit off, and then now I'm going to show you guys the high speed output. I'm going to exit out. I'm going to find the fan high speed. I'm going to hit enter. So now I'm going to turn the fans on. I'm going to hit on and then show you guys the difference between the high speed output on these fans. So as you can see, the output on these fans on the RPM is much greater. The fans are spinning much faster. So this is basically, like I said, the final fix on this vehicle. The problem was faulty fan motors that were not spinning fast enough. When the computer commanded either the high or the low output. So this video is based on a intermittent overheating, as the vehicle either stopped at a stop sign or a stoplight. But as soon as he drove the vehicle, the temperature will go back to normal, and that problem was due to faulty fan motors that were just not spinning fast enough. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like, and hopefully this video helps. Alright guys.